Have you ever wondered why it seems like the bad guys always get ahead while the good ones struggle? Today, we're going to delve into various biblical perspectives on this very question, exploring the stories and teachings that can help us understand why it often appears that bad people prosper and good people suffer. Throughout this video, we'll be examining some of the most thought-provoking narratives in the Bible, from the story of Job to the teachings of Jesus, and even some of the wisdom literature from the Old Testament. Along the way, we'll uncover some valuable lessons about faith, perseverance, and the nature of true prosperity. As we explore these biblical perspectives, I want to encourage you to keep an open mind and heart, considering how these ancient stories and teachings might speak to your own life and experiences. Whether you're a seasoned Christian or simply someone curious about the Bible, I hope you'll find this video informative, thought-provoking, and inspiring. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of why the Bible often seems to depict bad people prospering while good people suffer, and what we can learn from these narratives about living a life of purpose and meaning. The story of Job is one of the most iconic in the Bible, and for good reason. This righteous man faced unimaginable suffering, losing his family, his health, and even his livelihood. And yet, despite all of this, Job refused to curse God, instead choosing to hold fast to his faith. But why did this happen to Job in the first place? Was it because he was somehow less faithful than others, or because God was testing him in some way? The book of Job doesn't give us easy answers, but it does point us towards the importance of trusting in God even when we can't understand what's happening around us. As we read through the story of Job, we're forced to confront our own assumptions about suffering and why it happens. Is it always a result of sin, or can good people suffer too? The book of Job challenges us to think more deeply about these questions and to consider the possibility that our suffering might be an opportunity for growth and spiritual development. Through Job's story, we're reminded that our faith is not just about receiving blessings or avoiding hardship, but about deepening our relationship with God, even in the darkest of times. This is a tough message, but it's one that's essential to living a life of purpose and meaning. The parable of the rich man and Lazarus is another powerful story that challenges our assumptions about wealth and poverty. In this parable, Jesus depicts a rich man who lives a life of luxury and indulgence, while Lazarus, a poor man, suffers outside his gates. After death, the tables are turned, and the rich man finds himself in torment while Lazarus is comforted in Abraham's bosom. This parable is often seen as a commentary on the afterlife, but it's also a powerful critique of wealth and privilege in this life. Jesus is highlighting the injustice of a system where the wealthy few live in luxury, while the many suffer in poverty. He's calling us to a different way of living, one that prioritizes compassion, empathy, and generosity. The rich man's fate serves as a warning to us all, reminding us that our wealth and status are not what define us, but rather our treatment of others and our relationship with God. In Psalm 73, the psalmist expresses a sense of confusion and frustration about the prosperity of the wicked. Why do they seem to get ahead while the righteous struggle? The psalmist is honest about his doubts and fears, and yet, as he reflects on his own experiences and the nature of God, he comes to a deeper understanding of divine justice. The psalmist realizes that true prosperity is not about external circumstances, but about living a life of integrity and faithfulness. He recognizes that the wicked may prosper for a time, but ultimately they will face judgment and accountability. This psalm is a powerful reminder that our prosperity is not just about what we have, but about who we are. It's about living a life that honors God and trusting in His justice and wisdom. King Solomon is often remembered as the wisest man in the Bible, and yet, his story is also one of great complexity and moral ambiguity. Despite his wisdom, Solomon faltered and faced consequences, highlighting the challenges of morality and leadership. Solomon's story serves as a warning to us all, reminding us that even the wisest and most powerful among us can stumble and fall. But it's also a testament to the power of repentance and redemption, as Solomon ultimately returns to God and seeks forgiveness. Through Solomon's story, we're reminded that true wisdom is not just about knowledge or intelligence, but about humility and obedience. It's about recognizing our limitations and dependence on God, and seeking to live a life that honors Him. In the teachings of Jesus, we find some of the most radical and countercultural statements about wealth and materialism. He tells us that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Jesus is not saying that all wealthy people are bad, but rather that wealth can create a sense of self-sufficiency and idolatry. He's warning us that our pursuit of wealth and status can distract us from what truly matters, our relationship with God and our treatment of others. This teaching is a powerful challenge to our consumerist culture, which often equates happiness with wealth and material possessions. Jesus is calling us to a different way of living, one that prioritizes simplicity, generosity, and spiritual growth. In Ecclesiastes, we find a fascinating exploration of the concept of delayed justice. The author reflects on the seeming randomness of life, where the wicked often prosper and the righteous suffer. But beneath the surface, the author is searching for a deeper understanding of God's timing and justice. He recognizes that our limited perspective often prevents us from seeing the bigger picture, and that God's justice may not always be immediate or obvious. This teaching is a powerful reminder that our understanding of justice is often incomplete and limited. We may not always see justice being served in this life, but we can trust that God is working behind the scenes to bring about redemption and restoration. In the wisdom literature, particularly Proverbs, we find a wealth of teachings about the contrast between the righteous and the wicked. We're reminded that the path of the righteous is often marked by hard work, integrity, and generosity, while the path of the wicked is characterized by laziness, deceit, and selfishness. These teachings offer us a clear vision of what it means to live a life of purpose and meaning, one that's marked by wisdom, compassion, and obedience. They remind us that true prosperity is not just about external circumstances, but about the character and conduct of our lives. Through the wisdom literature, we're encouraged to pursue a life of spiritual growth and development, one that's marked by humility, gratitude, and a deepening relationship with God. As we reflect on these biblical narratives and teachings, we're left with a profound sense of awe and wonder. We're reminded that suffering can serve a greater purpose, that true prosperity is found in spiritual fulfillment, and that God is always working to bring about redemption and restoration. These stories and teachings are not just ancient relics of the past, but living words that speak to our lives today. They call us to a deeper level of faith, to a greater sense of trust and obedience, and to a more profound understanding of God's wisdom and justice. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most? And how do you see these lessons playing out in your own life? Share your reflections in the comments below, because your voice could inspire someone else today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who might need this message. Let's grow together in faith and understanding. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you abundantly.
I appreciate you taking the time to watch and be here. If this video resonated with you or touched your heart, please consider supporting the channel by buying me a coffee. Simply scan the QR code or click the link in the description below. Your generosity keeps this mission alive. See you soon. God bless. If you're looking to overcome depression and anxiety by strengthening your spirituality, I invite you to check out my ebook, Soulful Transformations, Bridging Faith and Mind for Lasting Wellness, available on Kindle. This book combines cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, with biblical wisdom to help you manage stress, tackle anxiety, and find lasting peace through faith. It's not just about mental health. It's about deepening your relationship with God and transforming your life in ways that inspire others. Check the description below for the link and take the first step toward a life of spiritual and emotional wellness.